Hey everyone, welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today we're talking about I can't stop eating. Have you ever said that or felt that? Of course you have. So how do you deal with it? Because it's going to happen, it's happened, and it's going to happen again in the future many, many times, most likely. So you need to have a better strategy to deal with it than just feeling like all is lost, because all is not lost. And the first thing you need to do to deal with that is to get a bigger perspective, to zoom out a little bit. That even when the times when you've felt it in the past, it hasn't lasted. Okay. It doesn't last, hopefully. Okay. But if you have any chance of fixing it, the first thing you need to do is to calm down. Okay. You got to relax. You got to calm down, because the more anxious and worked up you get, the more you're going to want to eat. And it becomes kind of this negative snowball that starts building up with momentum and gravitational force. And so the first thing we want to do when your eating does get off track, when you do feel hungry, when you're eating too much, too many of the wrong things, relax, calm down. Think about this for steps. I know you want to hear this because you want to hear just some magical willpower trick, but I'm telling you, this is a willpower trick. Willpower is a fixed resource. Right. And again, we always have to look at two sides of the equation. When you feel really hungry, when you're craving a lot of unhealthy foods, there's two sides to it. There's your willpower ability to stop yourself. But then there's the other big piece, which is what's driving that craving. So we want to influence both of these. And that's what I'm sharing with you. So one of the first ways to kind of lower the cravings, lower the hunger, is to calm down, relax, drink water, get more sleep. Nourish yourself with some fruit. Go for a walk. Calm your mind down. Do a little bit of exercising just to kind of get some of the energy out. Meditate, right? These things kind of lower a lot of times the hunger and the craving side of things. And simultaneously, they start to free up more energy. Whereas with a lot of people, what they do, as soon as they eat too much, they feel hungry, they're fighting against themselves. Now they're going the opposite direction. They're stressing out. They're freaking out. They're obsessing on the food. They're obsessing on what they ate. They're telling themselves they're never going to lose weight. I'm never going to succeed. This is never going to work. I can never do this. And then they start increasing the cravings and the hunger, and they start decreasing the energy available to use as willpower to influence their eating. And that's what most dieters are going to do when they get a little bit off track. And it's a terrible strategy. So what I'm suggesting to you is not just some airy fairy woo woo, thing like that. It's literal science here, that you're a bundle of energy. And the more energy you put into trying to fight against yourself and beat yourself up and feel awful about yourself, the more hungry you're going to be and the less energy you have to influence your eating. So what we want to do is realize that you need to have a strategy at the ready for when you do get extra hungry, for when you do make the wrong food choices. It's natural, it's normal, it's going to happen sometimes because we're human beings. And that's how life is. I mean, sometimes you have energy, sometimes you don't. Sometimes life's working with you, sometimes it's not. And it goes on and on. There's lots of factors that are going to impact these things. And so when all of a sudden you hit a dip in life, you're fighting with your partner, your boss is yelling at you, it's freezing cold out, you slip on the ice, you get all the bills coming in and all this stress comes in, there's a good chance it might impact your hunger and eating. It's not the end of the world as long as you don't let it be. Don't let it be the end of the world. Relax and calm down. So the more you start to realize that mastering your weight is much more about managing your eating when it's not good, the better off you'll be. Because the big mistake a lot of dieters make is they think I'm just going to get into this position where I never overeat again. I never have unhealthy craving. I'm just always fight against them. Now you might fight against them, but sometimes they're going to win. Not a big deal. As long as you recognize that and you have a strategy in place where you can calm down and relax. So you can kind of ride it out. It's kind of like bumpy seas. Sometimes, the seas get bumpy and you just have to ride it out. And it's the same thing with your eating. So the more you realize that, I think the more prepared you are for when that visits you of what to do. And so what you can do, again, is rely on relaxation, your water intake, hydration levels, your nourishment, your sleep, your movement. Right? You start focusing on these things, and I think you'll find that you start to naturally feel a way that allows you to eat better and make healthier food choices. And if you want some support doing this, click the link in my bio or go to Program Yourself. Then get the free hypnosis session I gave you. Watch the video I made, 3 Steps to Master Your Weight. And I will take you through this process so that not only are you more prepared, but you're also able to avoid these and minimize them as much as possible. So I hope this helps you out. If anyone has any questions, any weight loss questions, feel free to ask them. Here we are on a Tuesday. It's kind of the beginning of the week. I don't know if y'all had yesterday off. I never know President's Day, how big of a holiday that is. But it was for me. So I'm happy to have taken that. But here we are. So today feels like Monday to me, but then it's not because, it'll be a quick week. So I hope you're all having a good week. And if you have any weight questions, feel free to ask them. Because I know if you're anything like a lot of my clients and myself, a little bit of a dip, but feeling like I'm coming out of it, feeling like it. Even though all of a sudden I thought I lived in Massachusetts, but it turns out it's actually like the tundra. It has been like, oh my God, it is so much snow and so much ice, I should say. I mean, it is in the feet range at this point, which is not that unusual, but then it's freezing cold too. So it's like none of it's going anywhere. So Wise Muzabi says, thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah, happy to share this stuff. Again, this is a mission for me. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, usually around noon Eastern, to try and help you all out. Because again, it is a mission for me to help as many people as possible live at their goal weight, for 2 reasons. One is I want you to live as long as you possibly can, and your weight's probably one of the biggest factors of that. And I want you to have the best quality of life, because again, your weight and the foods you eat that create your weight are probably the biggest factors in your quality of life day to day, moment to moment. And so for me, this is a mission because my father died at 54 of a heart attack. And so for me, I do this because again, it's life and death to me. This isn't just about wearing the clothes you want to wear. I want you to wear the clothes you want to wear too, but it's so much deeper than that. It's so much more meaningful. And, I think a lot of people are struggling with their weight, obviously, right? We live in America where 75% of the population is overweight or obese, which is so crazy considering we've had a lifetime of diets and weight loss products, but clearly they're not working. And I think I know why. And I like to think that I'm offering you at least a different take on things that hopefully makes more sense. And the take is that it's not a willpower based approach to weight loss. I think just relying on willpower to lose weight is a very bad strategy and does not have much chance of success. And I think you know that. If you're overweight, I think you know that, because I'm going to assume if you're overweight, you have tried many, many, many diets that required you to have willpower to force yourself to eat with them. And if you're like most people, you're able to force yourself to eat and follow a diet for a little while, and then you can't keep it up. And if you're like most people, as you get older, that amount of time you can actually force yourself to follow it gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, to the point where you're probably, if you're watching this, somewhere in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, and you think about weight loss 24 hours a day, but you can't actually get yourself to do anything to lose the weight. And that's where most of my clients are at before they start working with me. So again, I try to get out here and I like the word enlighten. I don't want to sound delusions of grandeur here, egotistical, but it is my goal. I am a yoga instructor. I am in the yoga lineage of things. The guru is a bringer of light. And without liking that word guru, because of its Americanized framing, I to bring some light to a topic that I think a lot of people are kind of stuck in the dark with, really is my mission in life. And that's why I do this every day. So yeah, like I said, if you want to go deeper in this, you can click the link in my bio. And this is a podcast too, by the way. And I have a YouTube channel too. It's under Jim Katsoulis. I think I'm going to change this. If you're on TikTok, it says Program Yourself Then. I think I'm going to change that to Jim Katsoulis, so everything's just the same. But I'm going to start making YouTube videos, and I'm excited about that. So I'll have some longer form content for you all, and I'll be happy to do that. What's up, Vicky? How's it going? Claudia says, "Hey, Jim, happy to see you. My new job is not in my favor by being healthy." Yeah, that'll happen. Life changes are a big thing to be aware of if you're not already. But yeah, new jobs, new houses, children, divorce, marriage, good or bad, a lot of times, it can throw us off because most of our behavior is on autopilot. So when something dramatic changes in our lives, it's usually a big shift. You know what I mean? It kind of throws us off. That's completely normal. And yeah, when it's not working in our favor, that's extra hard. So the good news is though, Claudia, is that it's new, so you don't have a lot of bad habits kind of installed yet. So it's good going into this situation and realizing what the new challenges of this job are. And right from the beginning, you can start to work on strategizing solutions that you can use even in this difficult situation. And so, yeah, if you want to go into specific challenges of the job, feel free to bring them up and I'll help you kind of work through them. But this is just the same global high level approach, is that we all have got challenge in our lives. We all got situations that are kind of supporting us and ones that are real hard to deal with. And so I think that it's helpful to acknowledge that and then work on resolving the challenging situations with strategy, good strategy. Sandra says, "I try to see the process as like I'm learning to live all over again and try to reverse bad habits." Yeah, I think that's the first part's good. The second part, not so good. You can't reverse bad habits. Like, I know what you probably mean, but I think this is an area when you're talking about habits and behavior, I think it really pays to be very, very specific and articulate about what you mean. And the truth is, you're not going to reverse a bad habit. You can't reverse bad habits. You can't eliminate bad habits because neuroscientifically, you cannot eliminate neural wiring. So a habit is just a neural connection or a neural network of connections. And you're not going to you can't just reach in there and pull the wires out and then, oh, now I don't have this habit anymore. So you have to understand that. So what you can do is you can overwrite a new habit over the top of that. And the basic way habits fire off is there's usually a cue. There's some kind of cue or trigger, and then there's the behavior, and then there's the reward. Okay. And so when we have a bad habit, we want to keep the cue, we want to keep the reward or improve on the reward. We want to change the behavior. So I think this is very important because you're not reversing a bad habit. There's no such thing as reversing a bad habit. You could wire a new habit over the old habit, and all of a sudden that old cue trigger could trigger a new behavior pattern that leads you to another reward that's similar or enhanced and better. But you're not going to reverse an old habit, just so we know. So, but I think learning, approaching like learning to live all over again, I think is absolutely true. But again, even that framing, right? If you keep that same framing as I'm going to look at this process as one where I'm learning to live all over again, great, and build new habits. Great. And you could aim your new habits at the old bad habits and again, wire over the new habits over the old ones. Hope that makes sense. But yes, it is a big process. I was thinking that, I'm back to it again, like where, hey, weight loss, forget about weight loss. First of all, the goal ought to be weight mastery. Weight loss as a goal is a shitty goal. Weight mastery is the goal you truly want. You don't want to lose weight. You want to live at your goal weight. So it's a huge difference. And that's really important. The second thing is, there's no quick fixes to weight mastery. So I guess I don't tiptoe around this anyways, but you're going to have to commit your whole life to it. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, then you'll never weigh what you want, most likely. So tough shit, the whole fucking weight loss industry is built around trying to sell you hacks and sneaky ways to not do the work. The diet industry is the get rich quick schemes, if that makes sense. It's the person in college who would sell you, the term papers they'd write for you. They'll give you the test. It's cheating. It's looking for shortcuts. It's looking for hacks. None of them work. You all been trying to look for hacks, weight loss hacks for 50 years, and they never work. They're never going to work. You have to just put the work in. And it's not even that hard. That's the fucking weird thing. If you just commit to doing the right things to get your weight under control, it's not that fucking hard. The problem is you're all trying to hit grand slams. That's your weight loss strategy. You want a grand slam or you don't want anything at all. If you can't lose 2, 3, 4 pounds a week, I'm not interested. And so you're only keyed into weight loss strategies are going to get really fast results. But the only way you can get fast results is by doing crazy extreme shit. And you don't want to do crazy extreme shit, so you don't do anything. And here you are, most likely, at the same weight you've been at for years and years and years. So, yeah. If you really want to master your weight, it's a lifelong commitment. It's a never-ending marathon. That's not a bad thing. Taking care of your teeth is a never-ending commitment. You're okay with that, aren't you? Yeah. But so much of the work is mindset. And that's one of the hard mindset pieces, I guess, is getting your head around the fact that there are no quick fix hacks that are ever going to work for you. But it's very freeing once you realize that too, I think. I hope. Mr. Moreno says that's great advice. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. I do have good advice. I don't think there's another person on the planet that knows about weight mastery as much as I do. I truly believe this. I think I have a very unique, I've been obsessed with this stuff for 30 years personally, 20 years professionally. I've done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I mean, I've committed my life to this. I'm obsessed with this stuff. And that's why I get on here for free, because you just never hear this side of things. You fucking never, ever, never hear this point of view. And you've been conditioned by the diet industry your entire life when it comes to weight loss. And that's why you're so confused, because the diet industry is actually the food industry. In case you didn't know this, Weight Watchers was owned by Heinz. Jenny Craig was owned by Nestle. Atkins Food Products owned by the same company as Auntie Anne's Pretzels and Cinnabon. Slim Fast owned by the same company as Ben and Jerry's Ice Cream. So these companies don't want you to lose weight. They don't want you to all of a sudden eat better and not eat their bullshit foods. Are you kidding me? So what they do is they come up with all dumb shit that doesn't make sense, and they just sell it to you. And because you don't know anything better, you just keep falling for it. Dieters, don't take this personally. You're the most gullible people on the planet. I know it's because you're so desperate to lose weight, but that's making you so fucking gullible that you keep falling for the same tricks over and over and over. Is there anyone more gullible than a dieter? Is there? I don't think there is. So I love you people. That's why I'm here every single day for free, by the way, because I care so much. But at the same time, you're gullible. You're fucking so gullible. Come on. Sex Man says, great advice. Thank you. I says, couldn't agree more. Yeah. It's refreshing though to hear this, isn't it? I know it stings a little bit. I know that, but that's not a big deal. A little bit of stinging. I'll take a little bit of stinging over fucking chronic depression for the rest of my life. I can't control my weight, and I died 10 years earlier than I need to. And the last 20 years of my life are miserable because I can't move all day long. I'll take a little stinging. So understands where my heart's at, folks. Yeah. Sandra says, that's what I meant. Thank you. Yeah. And I get it. I'm busting your chops with semantics. No one likes to have their semantics, nitpicked. I get it. However, it's very helpful. It's helpful. Again, when I talk about Program Yourself Thin is the name of my program, my approach. We're really focused on the subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is extremely literal. And in that sense, it's very much like a computer. With a computer, when you're coding a computer, you can't just put general ideas into it. It won't work. You need to be extremely specific with the code you're putting in. And it's the same thing with your subconscious mind. You need to be very, very literal and specific about the challenges you face, the solutions you want to implement, what you're doing. And so your language is literally like code for your subconscious mind. Most dieters have extremely shitty subconscious programming and coding. Not your fault. Not your fault. You've just been at the mercy of the society we live in and the mercy of the food companies and the diet companies, which are the same. And they have conditioned you all to be overweight. And that's why it's very easy for you to be overweight and very hard for you to lose weight. Sandra says, then how did you learn all that? Who was your gym? That's a great question. My gym, there was no gym for me in the sense for weight mastery. My gym, if there was a gym, was Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was the first person in my life who I heard, oh my God, I can actually change. I came across Tony Robbins at probably one of the lowest moments of my life. And he was the spark in a way, amongst a bunch of other things. I say this all the time. During that point in my life, I was 50 pounds heavier. I was in between schools. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was feeling pretty bad about a lot of things. binge drinker. And I came across, this all happened like a month or two. I came across Tony Robbins, neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, yoga, meditation, martial arts, guitar, all of these things. And so it magically fell in my life. I feel like I'm paying it forward with you all by teaching this stuff. So, you know, it's Tony Robbins was my gym initially, but the thing with Tony Robbins is he's a generalist. And I got certified, I was in school. I got a degree in finance and investments. I got a degree in business. But I came across this stuff around the same time. This was real my passion. So it took me a number of years. I finally got certified as a hypnotherapist, an NLP trainer, strategic coach, yoga instructor. And what I wanted to do, what I was always passionate about was weight, because my father died at 54 of a heart attack. I was 9 years old. That was kind of the life-defining moment, I would say. And so for me, weight was always so meaningful. And so I got obsessed with helping people lose weight. But what I realized is there was no real good information out there. So I feel like I've had to create my own system and approach. And how have I done that? Well, I mean, I obsessively have been reading books now for 30 years. I just read everything. I keep learning things. I keep testing things. I speak and have interviewed hundreds of people that have lost weight and kept it off. I have done almost 6,000 private weight loss sessions. I've been teaching Program Yourself Thin in some form or another for over 20 years, where I'm constantly iterating it and refining it. So I'm obsessed with this stuff. And I wish there was just a gym in terms of weight that I could have learned from and then just taught this. I would have gladly have had that approach, but I had to kind of create a lot of it on my own. But Tony Robbins absolutely was the spark. So John says, I'm still confused about the weight goal. Is it a range or a specific number? It's a range. It's a range, John, but you can, out of that range, what most people are going to do is going to pick the low number of that range. So you'll pick X amount of pounds and then add 5 pounds on it. That's my real quick, simple suggestion to you, because I know that you're very confused by that number. And I've got a training coming out to address that. But again, and so I don't know if you're here because you asked this before and I talked about it for like 15 minutes, but I'm assuming now that you must have asked that and had to leave because you're asking that same question. So I don't know if you're here. So I don't want to keep talking about it too much if you're not here to hear the answer. Neely said, I would say vulnerable too. You're a lifetime learner. Yeah, absolutely. You've got to be a lifetime learner because there's always new information coming down the pike. Okay. And I think that's really important. Now, I will tell you, I have consistently been right with my intuitions because I initially started this whole path by studying people that had lost weight and kept it off. And so that's where I start my learning from. I don't just learn from people that lost a lot of weight quickly. I learn from people that have lost weight and kept it off long-term. And I think that's made all the difference in the world. So I've studied success for 30 years, and success is usually pretty accurate in how it works. Like long-term success. Again, I'm not talking about short-term weight loss. You all get confused on short-term weight loss because anything can work for a little while. But when you start talking about how is a person keeping the weight off for 2 years, 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and you study that whole group of people, you start to notice very quickly, very obvious patterns and similarities they all have together. So yeah, Mara says, yes, love Tony Robbins, gives us a spark. Yeah, I love Tony Robbins. And again, I don't agree with everything Tony Robbins says or does, but I think that he's amazing. And I think especially where he started out, he really started out as an NLP trainer. And he started out in that world, which was just so amazing back in the day. And so I'm a big fan, but, just like anything else, even if you start with me, I mean, I hope I can be the spark for you, but you're going to have your own path too. Like that's just how it is. Even Program Yourself Thin's built like that. I'm not saying Program Yourself Thin has all the answers in it. What I am saying is that it has all the answers in it that you need to get to your answers. So I give you best practices and ideas that work for most people, but at the end of the day, your weight mastery system needs to be customized to you. So I can't tell you, I can give you best practices and ideas, but ultimately it's up to you what you want to do. John says, thanks. I hear you and I'm grateful for this. My journey is going great. 5 to 10 pounds more and I'll be there. Yeah. Okay, John. So if you're here, like I said, I got the training coming out, but yes, what I would suggest is in terms of the goal weight, first off, you can pick a goal weight that you think, okay? But ultimately, you're not going to know your goal weight. You won't know your fucking goal weight. You can't just pick a number, because you can pick a number if you want to, but your satisfaction with that number is going to depend on two things: what benefits you get out of being at that number, and how it feels to live and eat at that number. You can't just take that piece out of it. And that's a big mistake dieters do. They just pick a number. So I want to be this way because that's what I weighed when I was 20. That's what I weighed when I got married. They just pick a number. Oh, that's what the BMI chart says. This is what I should weigh. Right? But what if you have to live a life down here where you don't eat what you like, you're not happy, you're miserable? Well, then that's not going to work. Your goal weight should be the weight that gives you the best quality of life. And that quality of life, you don't know yet. You can pick a number and go to it, but then you're figuring it out. When you're at that weight, now you can see, okay, how does this feel? Let me put it in a different way. I've been the same weight for 30 years, except 12 years ago, I put almost 25 pounds on a couple months. And I took 15 pounds of those off, but I raised my goal weight by 10 pounds. Because in that situation where things were really crazy, I wasn't getting it was reducing my quality of life to be at that 10 pounds lighter, because it took a lot more energy and effort than I wanted to dedicate to at that point. So your goal weight is relative to how easy it is for you to live at that. You've got to recognize this, folks. This is a missing piece. And I swear everyone's goal weight approach. This is why I'm giving you a free, again, if you're not in my world, click the link in my bio, go get the hypnosis session, watch the video. But if you're on my email list, I'm going to give you access to this training. I was going to have it last week, but I had a tough week last week. But I have this training coming this week, how to choose your goal weight. And I'm going to let you use Gym AI as well, which is my AI clone. It's literally just like talking to me. It's nuts. You can literally talk to it like on a conversation, and I'll help you choose your goal weight, the proper goal weight, because there's a good chance your goal weight is bullshit. And that's a big reason why you're struggling with it. Snazzy Rungus has just started watching your videos 2 hours ago. Loving them. Thanks, mate. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's why I put them up there. And that's why I'm so excited. I really, I could feel, for me, I talk about this a lot. I just got off a coaching call talking about this, that really what life is, and certainly weight, you dieters think that it's this, you start and it's just a straight line of perfection. It is not. It's ups and downs. And so much of your success really comes down to your ability to manage your downs. And I've been in a down for the last, now longer than I wanted to be, but like it was holiday vacation mode. And then it's been a down for more than a month. I had my dog down last week. It was a tough week. It's been cold and shitty. There's some other stuff going on. And so I've been managing my downs. I'm 5 pounds heavier than I was 3 months ago. It's okay though. You see what I mean? So again, I recognize this within context. But what I'm trying to tell you all is this is what your life's going to look like. You're never going to get to a point in your life where you just eat perfectly all the time. It's never going to happen. There's going to be times when you get tired, sick, pissed off, depressed, whatever, and you start dipping. How are you going to manage that though? That's the key thing. So anyways, I feel myself finally coming out of it. It's for a number of reasons. And I'm grateful. But one of the things that's going to lead to help you all is I got some trainings for you, but I also, I'll be starting making YouTube videos, longer ones. So can't wait. Marla says, I've been a happy person despite being big until last year when pain kicked in. Yeah. Okay. I get it. And that's what I think. That's another message I have for you all, that I think the diet industry has conditioned you to think about weight loss motivation primarily as what you look like. And I'm here to tell you that that's not enough motivation. I know you think it is, and I know you think it should be, but it's not. Which brings it back to the core thing. Everyone gets mad at this. You weigh what you want to weigh. Your weight is a perfect reflection of how motivated you are in pretty much every situation I've ever seen. And so, yeah, when the pain starts kicking in, that's another motivator. So again, embrace it, utilize it, and program yourself then. That's one of the first things we do. The first thing I show you how to do is get motivated. Because yeah, you think you're motivated to lose weight and you're not. And that's the core mental challenge you got to get over. Because if you think you're motivated at level 10 and you're not getting results, the next belief that pops in there is that, well, I guess my body's broken. No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. And that's bullshit. And it's very powerless thought. So it's very important that you always stay connected to your power and that you're in charge of your weight and that your weight really is a reflection of your motivation. So But I get it, Marla. So yeah, again, I would strongly suggest you go watch the video I made for you. But yeah, when the pain kicks in, again, it's a gift because now you can take your health and your happiness more seriously. And you can probably elevate your whole quality of life. You could probably become a much even happier person, not because you look smaller. I want to make that clear. Not because you look thinner, but because you fucking feel better. Because you shed some of the weight and you free up energy. You don't have to carry it all around. Okay. Your body starts to operate more efficiently, more effectively, more optimally. Your moods start to reflect that. Your thinking starts to reflect that. So again, this could be the potential for a big shift in your quality of life. You know, Jennifer says 88 days, never even come close to that before. Yeah, great job, Jen. And I'm going to restart you, Jen. I got your message, so I'll get you restarted as well. I like Black Coffee says, hey, I need to get back down to my weight. I was 4 years back when I was 19. I had gained weight during my exams. Yeah, just real quick though, you never need to get back down to your weight. You never have to lose weight. You never need to lose weight. Just want, so you know, you never need to. You never have to. Never. You could be on death's door of having a heart attack and you still don't need to lose weight. You just have to wrap your head around that. When you feel like you need to lose weight, it's almost guaranteed you're not going to. So you want to lose weight is a much better framing from the beginning of where you want to go. I want to get my weight back down to where I was 4 years ago because, again, you got to fill in the blanks, but why? Because I was more energized. I was happier. I felt better. I was lighter. I moved more freely. I felt more attractive. I was more confident. I was more successful. I was more motivated, whatever. Like I'm on a deficit for a month, going to go on for 4 or 5 months more. Again, I hate that framing with a passion. The idea that you're going to go into a deficit, I hate that framing with a passion because a deficit is another word for a temporary thing. You're not expecting to stay in a deficit forever. Dieters really fuck themselves up with this. And it makes no sense. It makes no sense that you're going to reduce your calories, lose weight, and then you're going to bring your calories back up to maintenance level. Like, I know you think it makes sense. But if it made sense, Alan, if it made sense, then 75% of the population wouldn't be overweight or obese, and 95% of people that lose weight on a diet wouldn't put the weight back on. So again, stop with the deficit. I frame it as that if I want to lose weight, which I don't want to lose weight, by the way, that's not my main goal. My main goal is to live at my goal weight. Okay, dieters, stop with your shitty goal. You just want to lose weight for a little while? Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there we go, Neely. Then how do you lose weight without a calorie deficit? That's just semantics, Jim. No, it's not. Oh my God. If you have ever said that's just semantics, raise your hand and now slap yourself with it, because that's the fucking dumbest. I can tell you as a hypnotist, the words you use and the concepts you think in are some of the most powerful parts of your reality. So yeah, how do you lose weight without a calorie deficit? Okay, well, creating a calorie deficit is one way to explain it. Another way to explain it is that I'm overweight and I want to lose weight. So I'm going to go on a calorie deficit. I'm going to restrict my calories for 4 or 5 more months. Then I should lose the weight. Okay, well, what happens on month 6? Well, I'll have lost the weight and I'll bring my calories back up. What do you think's going to happen to your weight when you bring the calories back up? What? Well, my body's going to adjust and my weight will stay low because my body can now eat more calories, but my weight will stay the same. Huh? How's that fucking work? So that's a dieter for you. And I will tell you what I say. I'm overweight. I don't like this weight. I want to live at a lower weight. I want to live at a lower weight. So I'm going to reduce my average calorie consumption down to the level I need to live at the weight I want to live at. I'm going to reduce my average calorie consumption down to the weight that I want to live at. Do you hear the difference? I don't know if y'all hear the difference, because I know a dieter is a brainwashed deep state of mind. But one implies I'm going to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life. So I've reduced my calories down to that level and that's where I'm going to live forever. And the other one says I'm going to temporarily create a calorie deficit. And then what? And then what? Neely says, not what I mean. I overeat and need to reduce how much I eat forever. Yeah, okay. But deficit, who wants to live their life in a deficit? Do you see what I mean? Deficit, you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is linguistics. Deficit, let's look up the specific frame. I want to use the exact words. Let me look up deficit for a second and why I would suggest you all stop using it. Come on, give me a better one than that. A deficiency in amount. A deficiency. Less than normal. Let's just go with that one. Okay. Deficit, less than normal, right? A deficit is less than normal. So your normal, your regular way of eating is here. Your regular calories here. I'm going to create a deficit. So you're still anchored to normal being up here, which gets back to your core problem anyways, folks, is that you all have overweight mindsets. This is your core problem. You are programmed. If you're overweight and have been for a while, you are programmed to be overweight. And what that means is if you're not thinking about food, if you're not thinking about weight loss, you're not like intentionally trying to change, you're just living your life, you're overweight because the way you eat, what you eat, how you live keeps you overweight. And you do it automatically and naturally, easily. And then when you go on a diet, diet's not a mindset, it's an anti-mindset. So you go on a diet and you just fight against your regular mindset. Let's eat cupcakes. No. Let's do this. No. Let's do this. No, 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 no. And you know yourself down to your goal weight. Same problem exists though. Can't keep dieting and you don't want to go back to your overweight mindset. But that's what happens. You stop dieting and your weight goes back up. Program yourself thin is not about doing this bullshit where you're fighting against your overweight mindset. It's about creating a thin and healthy mindset so that living at your goal weight is as automatic and simple and easy for you as living as an overweight person. This is how I'm able to sit here 30 years later at the same weight, minus one blip 12 years ago, I've never done one diet and I don't work out. So what have I done? I have reduced my average calorie consumption. I'm a master of my eating. And now my eating habits are the habits that keep me at my goal weight. And I don't really have to think about them much. Hope that makes sense. Completely different framing. Completely different framing. John says, yeah, I'm getting tired of eating the same food. Yeah, exactly. You got to respect variety. You got to respect variety. Foods need new, good, whole food choices. Yeah, John. Again, but again, that's why training a new mindset into yourself is a process. It's a learning process. And you fucking dieters don't think it's a learning process at all because dieters always tell me the same thing. I know what I need to do, Jim. No, I know what I need to do. I just need to get myself to do it. That's fucking bullshit. You don't know what to do. That's your problem. You have some vague idea of what you should eat. And it's the same as like, again, you see someone who doesn't know how to play the piano and they go, oh, play the piano is easy. You just hit the right keys in the right order at the right time. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Well, play me a song. Well, I can't do it, but come on, it's pretty easy, right? That person's a dipshit, but you're doing the same thing with the dieting. Oh, I just need to cut carbs out. Oh, I just need to track my points. If I'm going to lose weight, I got to track my calories. You got some vague idea and almost zero ability to actually implement it into your life. So it runs pretty much automatically. And you've never even thought in these terms. But so when it comes to the foods, yeah, at first, you kind of deal with the foods and then you start getting to the point, I'm getting bored. Okay, let's hear that. Let's honor it. And let's start finding other foods that you like to eat that are in the same calorie ranges to keep you your goal weight. So again, John, John's in the program. So John, that starts to become the next phase for you. And the phases never end, folks. There's always new phases to approach and to master and to grow and evolve. This is why I say in Program Yourself Thin, we take your weight loss and wrap it in personal development. This is a personal development program. And I don't know how you're really going to get the best results possible if you don't approach it that way. Julie says, key is enjoying food I love and not feeling bad about eating. Yeah, again, Julie's in the program and she's well on her way to mastering her weight. She's lost weight before and put it back on, but this is about mastering it, living at your goal weight. Katie says, my sister has watched your show for 6 months and she's down 50 plus pounds. Go, Amy. All right. You've helped her so much. She's back to her confident self. Hey, great job, Amy. That's awesome. Get a screenshot of that. I don't know why. I got 10 gigabytes of testimonials. I never post anywhere. But anyways, that's awesome, Katie. I'm happy for your sister. Great. Tell her great job, Amy, if you're listening. Proud of you. Wow. 50 plus pounds. That's great. Jen says, I'm so sorry to hear about your dog. Pets are family. Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, it's just tough, right? We all, if you have a dog, you know. LV Star says, how to stop binging. I get that question a lot, and I'm not trying to avoid it. What I would say though is that it's a whole different approach, right? You're not going to stop binging. You're going to resolve binging. Stopping binging again is that diet approach where you're just going to fight against yourself. And I want to understand the binging, right? The binging is a symptom of a deeper problem in my experience. And typically the main three problems that lead to binging is that you're getting yourself too hungry. You're over restricting, getting yourself too hungry and then binging. And or you're getting emotional, right? There's some emotions you don't know how to deal with, and you're using the food to deal with them. And then finally, it's just a habit, right? I work all week, and then Friday night I binge and I go crazy. And so it could be one or all these wrapped up together. But I want to understand each binge is kind of different. You've got different binging habits and behaviors, and so instead of just trying to stop it, which is that diet mentality, I want to seek to understand it. Because if you're binging in the afternoon and we kind of analyze it and we say, oh, it's because I don't eat breakfast, don't eat lunch, and I try to eat nothing, and I get myself so hungry and I can't control my eating. Well, that solution is going to be different than if you're eating at night because you get really sad and lonely. You see what I mean? Like they're caused by two totally different things. So you need to understand what the binge is first and then seek to enact a strategic solution. Hope that makes sense. Expatriating brunette says, just simply live and love your thin lifestyle, not a diet. Yeah, I do agree with that. But it's not so easy for most people because you all don't even have any sense of understanding that. You know, you have to understand if you've grown up in America, you have literally been conditioned since birth to be overweight. I mean, mentally programmed. You've seen tens of millions of food ads. You live in a culture that's constantly inundated with food ads, and it's a obesogenic environment where there's constantly hyper addictable food around you. You've never learned how to manage your mindset, your emotions, your behaviors. So, to just simply do it would be like just simply learn to play the piano, just feel the music and be one with the piano. I mean, that sounds great, but it's not going to be very practical or helpful. And while there's an essence of truth to it, it's probably going to cause you to be more frustrated and fail more than it's going to help you. So I agree there's some truth to that, but it's not very helpful for most people. Ken says, PYT's allowed me to sleep better and start old and new hobbies. Eating is almost on autopilot. That's awesome. Yeah, Ken's in the program, just killing it. And the old and new hobby piece is so crucial and important as well. And I got to do a training on that. I've got to add, I'm going to do it this right now in the program where we go through it. We cycle through the program all the time, and that's the thing with Program Yourself. Then when you get in it, you're in it for life, like I gotta update shit. Oh my God. I gotta update some, but part of it is that you get lifetime access to the Tuesday classes we do. So I do a live class. I'm about to do another 2 hours here. But I do one every Tuesday where it's a live class where I go through another piece of the program. We just keep cycling through it. And so you get lifetime access to that as a member of the program, But one of the things I'm going to add to that actually is I'm going to add 2 more habits, and one's hobbies and one's learning. But great job, Ken. That's awesome. Here it says, I keep going back and forth between manifesting my desired weight and working hard for it. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of normal too. I mean, again, I think thinking about weight like a musical instrument, I think is very helpful. And the average person who sticks with the musical instrument, I'm kind of talking about myself, I guess, where I didn't take it to the level of being like a professional, but I'm better than just a, basic guitar player. I'm somewhere in the middle. But if you look back over my 30 years of playing guitar, there's action taken forward where I really commit to things for a while. And there's times where I don't really play very much. And then I commit to it. And that's kind of normal, So again, I wouldn't say it's a very unusual era. And we just keep working to, make it easier and easier and easier, as you move forward. Diddy MC says, any tips to stop eating at night? I wake up from my sleep and eat a lot. I mean, my first step, when I typically hear people doing that, waking up and then eating at night, more often than not always, but more often than not, they're restricting too much during the day. They're not eating enough during the day. And so they're going to bed so hungry that when their willpower is at its lowest, which is when you're sleeping at night, then they get up and they're eating. And so my suggestion would be to eat more during the day. Now, again, without knowing your whole details, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to say, but I would probably eat more during the day. You say, I don't want to eat more in the day. How am I going to lose weight? Well, yeah, look how much you're eating at night, though. So I would, whatever you're eating at night, eat half of that during the day and then see if that impacts the nighttime eating at all. And there you go. You've cut half those calories out and as a starting point, and then take it from there. Neely says, I guess I need to move on because I don't understand how I can lose 30 pounds without a deficit. Even after I explain that? Okay, Neely. So if you're still here, you're creating a deficit, if you want to call it that. You want to lose 30 pounds. Okay. You're calling it a deficit. And I'm telling you that by thinking about it as a deficit, your subconscious mind is thinking about it as a temporary deprivation. It's a temporary diminishment from the norm. And I'm suggesting that you reduce your average calorie consumption down to the level where you're 30 pounds lighter. So it is semantical to some degree. Both situations, you're reducing calorie consumption. That's your weight comes down to calorie consumption, folks. It's as simple as that. Your weight is a reflection of your average calorie consumption. Okay. And so, yeah, if you want to drop 30 pounds, you're going to reduce your average calorie consumption. But by calling it a deficit, it triggers you to think of it as a temporary thing. If you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm not here to convince you. But again, I'm just framing it differently. But yes, you need to reduce calories. So we can agree on that part. Right? Yura said, should I just manifest or just work out and go to the traditional route? I don't even believe in manifesting as a tool in and of itself. I think it's bullshit. I think it's a fine piece of the puzzle. But again, if you put manifesting in any other context, it really seems silly. Like if I say, sit down and manifest yourself to be an amazing guitar player, and I don't put a guitar in your hand and I don't give you any lessons, you don't practice, you're never going to be good at guitar. So the idea that you're just going to manifest a lighter body, I don't believe it. I don't believe it much at all. I think mastering your weight, and maybe I'm short-sighted, but to me, weight mastery is about mastering your mindset, your lifestyle, and your eating. And in the program, we work on ways to do that. Very strategic, structured ways. I mean, there's a weight mastery blueprints for your mindset, lifestyle, and eating that I train you and have you fill out for yourself. And then we use hypnosis. And the most important part of the program is the program yourself thin technique, which is the reader rehearsal technique. But it's not just imagining yourself being thin and healthy. I have found very limited ability for that to be effective. So I think there's a time and a place for that. I think stepping into your ideal weight and body and identity, I think is valuable as a motivation tool and as to some degree a training tool, but in and of itself, I don't think it's very effective. So, but I don't think working out's going to do it either. So working out is not even a good effective thing for weight loss anyways. So yeah, you need strategy. You need mindset and strategy. To me, that's the two pieces of mastering your weight come down to mindset and your strategy. So yeah, it says 15. Got it. Good. Here it says I keep going back and forth. We may have that one. Queen Victoria, excellent explanation today, Jim. Your work is so important and meaningful. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate you saying that. Eddie says, Jim, I don't even identify with the old person anymore. Your videos have helped me lose 80 pounds. Holy shit. Eddie, nice job. That's amazing. I've kept it off for a year and keep going down. Great job, Eddie. And I say, yeah. So again, I think you mentioned you're a new identity for yourself. And that's so crucial as well. And Program Yourself Thin, that's a core part of the program, is developing a new self-image for yourself, a new identity actively. I think a lot of dieters really struggle because yes, the weight goes down, but they still identify as an overweight person. And you're always going to live up or down to your self-image, your identity. And so it's this subtle little thermostat in the back of your mind, which is not a physical one, although there are physical systems that do have a thermostatic effect on your weight to some degree that can be overridden though, by the way. But I think the primary thing keeping you overweight is your identity, how you think of yourself. And I think that needs to be impacted and influenced. Great job, Addie. That's a big accomplishment. Proud of you. Hannah says, I work from home and feel like I reach out for food more often than when I'm not working. Oh yeah, sure. I work from home too, and that was something I had to deal with, because now at home it's like, anytime you're lonely, bored, sad, distracted, stressed out about work, whatever emotional thing you go into, the food's right there, and it becomes a real easy way to kind of manage the emotions. So, yeah, again, it's not a willpower thing. It's more about learning how to handle your emotions more effectively without food, if that makes sense. But I get it. That's a lot of my people work from home, myself included. And that's something, yeah, you gotta kind of deal with, you know? All right, everyone. Well, I want to appreciate you guys are awesome today as usual. Great stuff. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you got something out of it. If you want to go deeper into this, please click the link in my bio, go to Program Yourself Thing, get the free hypnosis session I give you, watch the video I made for you, get in my world because I give you tons of free stuff to help you out. I also have a program if you're really serious, but again, the free stuff alone is a nice place to start. And it can put a lot of lights on for you. And then this is a podcast, Program Yourself. Then you can find all the podcast platforms. And if you ever want to get on here, I'm usually on here Monday through Friday around noon Eastern. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you want to find me. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm glad to help you out. Okay. Because I want to help you get control of your weight, your health, your happiness. And I'm committed to doing that. So, all right, everyone, have a super duper day and we'll talk soon. Bye.